continuing on with our study of keys to a successful marriage. These keys will help you with any relationship in your life. Even though you're married or not married, we all deal with those with those men in our life. And we need these wonderful keys which will open the door to successful relationships. Last week we talked about the key of being sound-minded. And I hope you went home and worked on this very important key to your relationship. It is a struggle. It is a process. It is a hard work to take control of your emotions, your thought, and your will. But we can do it. And we are commanded in 1 Peter 5:7 to be sound-minded people. Now our next key, the one that we are going to be talking about today, is the key to the differences between men and women. Our relationships with the men in our life, whether they are our husband, our brother, our father, our boss, an employee, a pastor, whatever significant man in your life, you need to know this wonderful key. It will help you so much. So let's go back to the very beginning. In Genesis chapter 1, God made male and female. Chapter 1 of Genesis, verse 27. So God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Male and female, He created them. So the origin of the very opposite sex is from God. Now, I looked up the word opposite. Well, you know by now that we love word studies in Titus 2. And the word opposite may be where you are this morning in your relationship with the significant man in your life. The word opposite means conflicting, contrary, or the reverse. Aren't our men just the reverse of us? And because of that, it can sometimes be very conflicting, and our relationships can become very contrary. And yet, these differences originated by divine design. God created male and female. Now, turn your eyes to verse 31 of Genesis chapter 1. Then God saw everything that He had made, and indeed it was very good. This is the first very good of creation. If you read the first chapter of Genesis, after each day of creation, God looks at what He has done and He says, it's good. He likes it. He pronounces, if you will, His blessing on it. But after the sixth day, after God looks at His wonderful creation of man and woman, He looks at it and says, it's very good. Very good. So what does very good mean? It means first rate, tip-top, valuable, and a word that you may not think of when you think of the differences between men and women, precious. It is so valuable and precious in the sight of our God, these wonderful differences that He has created within our men. And you may not be feeling that way today about that man in your life. You may look at him and say, not him again. He's so frustrating, irritating, and weird. God, why did you make him that way? But you know, ladies, we are being brainwashed by our culture. And our culture says that we are unisex, that there are no differences. We can do everything a man can do, and supposedly they should be able to do everything we can do. And that is not true. God has made us different. It's like the difference between apples and oranges. One is not inferior to another. You may get up one morning and you want an apple, but the next morning you want an orange. There's nothing wrong with either choice, but they are uniquely different. And ladies, I have come to have real sympathy for our men in this unisex, brainwashed, feminist-run culture. Our men are always being denigrated, derided, and disparaged. And even in the church. Ladies, we make our jokes. I've even heard them from the pulpit. Yes, they get a laugh when you say things like God first made Adam and then he got it right and made Eve. These things cause us to laugh. But there is an incipient undermining of God's wonderful purpose in providing the differences between men and women. Men are different, dear ladies. And I looked up the word different as well yesterday, and I found this. It said it was a lack of resemblance. And oftentimes, my eye fell down to the next word that just happened to be in the thesaurus, and it happened to be difficult. I thought, that's interesting. Our differences, our lack of resemblance leads us to difficulties in our relationships. But it doesn't have to be. I think some of this is because of our arrogance and pride as women. We react very badly to our men being different, not like us. We want them to resemble us. We want them to mimic us. We want, in fact, to remake them in our own image. Because, of course, the way we are is the right way. We all know that, don't we? I think I've said something about our arrogance and pride. Ladies, we sweet, lovely, precious women are so full of arrogance and pride about who we are and how it is the only way, the right way. And of course, we need to fix up our men. And some of you are involved in this remodeling process. And it's very hard. And it's not going well. That's because God made your man different. Our key principle is that our men train them